English Easy Podcast.
Hello, learners. Welcome back to English Easy Podcast, your partner to learning English. Let's just take a slow, deep breath in and let it out.
Let your shoulders drop, release any tension in your jaw and just settle in.
Exactly. Just relax. Now, I want you to picture your phone in your hand right now. It's payday.
Oh, that is such a specific, intense feeling.
It really is. Your very first real salary has just hit your bank account. You are staring at that glowing number on the screen. And I have a question for you. What happens in those first 5 minutes?
That's the critical window, right?
Right. Do you thoughtfully transfer a portion to a savings account? Or do you automatically open a shopping app, suddenly feeling invincible? Tonight, we are taking a deep dive into that precise moment.
It's a moment we all struggle with.
We really do. We're going to explore the psychology of why we spend, how to balance enjoying your life with protecting your future, and, well, how to manage your income without that crushing sense of guilt. And to help us do this, I have our resident expert here with me.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here for this because, that moment of staring at the screen is incredibly charged. Watching the money arrive often triggers what feels like a complete identity crisis.
Wait, really? An identity crisis? I always thought feeling excited on payday was just a normal human reaction. We worked hard, so we got paid.
Well, sure, excitement is part of it, but we face this intense battle between the desire to be a responsible adult and the desperate urge to experience the pleasure we feel we've earned. And usually, a few days later, a heavy wave of guilt follows.
Oh, I know that guilt. It's heavy. So why does our brain suddenly seem to split into two opposing forces the moment the money clears?
Because money is never just a mathematical number to your brain, it is an emotional trigger. When that deposit notification appears, your brain is hit with several conflicting signals all at once.
Like what kind of signals?
Well, money represents a reward for your labor, but it also represents a tool for stress relief and a resource for future survival. When all these conflicting representations flood your brain simultaneously, your mind does what it does in any complex situation. It starts a frantic internal negotiation.
So it's literally a negotiation. That makes so much sense. I often feel like there are two entirely different personalities living in my head.
That's a great way to look at it. Imagine your mind is a corporate boardroom. Sitting on one side of the large table is the accountant.
Okay, the accountant. I like that.
Right. The accountant is governed by your prefrontal cortex, the logical planning part of your brain. The accountant is looking at spreadsheets, projecting into next year, and insisting that you need to be responsible and prepare for emergencies.
But I'm guessing there's someone else in the room.
Exactly. Sitting directly across the table is the party planner. The party planner is driven by your brain's reward center, hunting for dopamine. The party planner isn't looking at spreadsheets at all.
What are they looking at then?
The party planner is looking at the fact that you survived 3 terrible meetings this week, you barely slept on Tuesday, and honestly, you are exhausted. The party planner has an aggressive marketing campaign to convince you that you absolutely need to buy expensive sushi right now to recover.
Oh, wow. The party planner always seems to win that debate, though, especially on a Friday evening. Why is the logical accountant so easily defeated?
Because logic requires energy. For about 10 minutes after your salary arrives, you experience this dopamine-fueled delusion. You tell yourself that starting this month you will be perfectly disciplined.
But then we aren't.
No, because your brain is simply tired. Here's the underlying mechanism. Highly intelligent, incredibly capable people make terrible financial choices constantly. Being smart does not protect you from cognitive exhaustion.
So it's not about being bad at math, it's just fatigue.
Exactly. When you are stressed from your commute or emotionally drained from answering emails, your prefrontal cortex, the accountant, is simply too tired to fight.
That perfectly explains the strange things we buy. I've noticed people will suddenly purchase a random expensive lamp for their bedroom late at night. It's never something they actually need.
Right. That's what we call the relief purchase. And it is almost never about the object itself. You are not buying a lamp or a designer coffee or sushi.
What are we buying then?
You are buying 10 minutes of chemical relief from a very stressful day. You're paying for a temporary distraction because your brain is demanding a break.
I see. We are buying a tiny vacation for our mind.
But this makes me think of the concept of delayed gratification. We know we are supposed to wait for a better reward later, rather than taking a quick reward now.
Yes, delayed gratification is key, but it's really hard to practice.
It is. I sometimes picture the dynamic between present me and future me as living with a really toxic roommate.
A toxic roommate, that's an interesting analogy.
Yeah, present me is completely selfish. Present me makes the mess, orders the food, and always has a beautiful speech ready to justify an expense.
Oh, the justifications are always so creative. They really are. Present me will say, this expensive jacket isn't just clothing, it's a networking tool for my career. Or this giant dessert isn't a lapse in judgment, it's necessary emotional recovery. Then future me wakes up the next morning, checks the bank balance, and has to clean up the mess.
The toxic roommate is a highly accurate way to view human behavior, honestly. Evolutionarily, we are wired for immediate survival. Present you feels the physical weight of stress today.
While future you is just, what an idea.
Exactly. Future you is just an abstract concept, a stranger living in the distance. The challenge is that emotions make the present moment feel like an emergency. The party planner screams that you need relief right now, while the accountant only whispers that you might need money next year.
But I have to push back on the accountant strategy for a second. When you are tired, saving money feels like a boring punishment.
It really does feel that way to a lot of people.
Right. It feels like taking the only resource you have to make yourself feel better and locking it away in a cage. How do we negotiate with that feeling?
By fundamentally changing what we think saved money actually does. Let me share a real case study from our research. A few years ago, an individual experienced what they called the premium stress package.
The premium stress package. That sounds awful.
It was. It was a month where problems did not arrive one by one. They attacked in a coordinated bundle. First, a major expected payment was delayed by 2 weeks.
Oh no, that's stressful enough on its own.
Right. Then, their vehicle broke down, resulting in a massive repair bill. And just 2 days later, a sudden family medical expense emerged. Everything went wrong simultaneously.
We have all felt the dark cloud of a month like that. It is absolutely terrifying.
It's paralyzing. But in that precise moment, this person realized that their savings account was not a cage for their fun. We often use the term financial cushion.
A cushion, like something soft to land on.
Exactly. Imagine that cushion as a literal, thick safety pillow. When life pushes you off balance and you fall rapidly, that pillow catches you before you break your bones. Or better yet, think of it as an oxygen tank.
An oxygen tank. I like that visual.
Yeah, because when unexpected bills pile up, the natural human reaction is pure panic. You feel like you are drowning in survival mode. Having saved money is like taking a deep, uninterrupted breath of oxygen. It keeps your logical brain functioning so you can solve the problem calmly.
There's a classic English idiom, save for a rainy day. I used to think it was just an old cliche. But the reality is, problems do not send calendar invites. You never know when the storm is going to hit.
They never warn you. And building that oxygen tank requires living within your means. Your daily lifestyle has to mathematically fit inside the income you actually possess.
Wait, I want to explore that phrase, living within your means, because I think it causes a lot of anxiety for people managing their first salary.
It absolutely does, especially now.
Exactly. We log on to social media, and the algorithms feed us these incredible aesthetic lifestyles. We see a 20-something with a morning routine involving specialty matcha, a $50 skincare regimen, and a luxury gym membership.
It looks so normal online.
It really does. But then you do the math, and their morning routine costs more than your monthly rent. Trying to force your first salary to match that illusion feels like a failure.
It is a mathematical impossibility for most, and it will destroy your peace of mind. Social media thrives on presenting the exception as the rule. Saving money is not about punishing yourself by denying those luxuries.
What is it about then?
It's about buying your own peace of mind instead of buying a prop for a photograph.
That's a beautiful way to put it. If saving is our oxygen, though, it raises another extreme question. Shouldn't I just hold my breath, lock myself in my room, and save every single penny? If spending is dangerous, isn't total restriction the safest path?
Absolutely not. And this is a trap many really responsible people fall into. The emotional toll of absolute austerity is crushing.
It sounds miserable, honestly.
It is. If you only save and you never allow yourself to experience the physical fruits of your labor, your daily existence loses its color. Life just feels like an endless gray waiting room. You are constantly waiting for someday to finally live.
And what happens when we stay in that waiting room too long?
You experience what psychologists call the pendulum effect, or the extreme swing. Someone decides to take total control of their finances, They stop going out.
They say no to everything.
Everything. They say no to every dinner invitation. They refuse to buy even a simple cup of coffee. They become deeply emotionally exhausted by all this restriction. And then the willpower breaks.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
Yeah, the pendulum swings violently in the opposite direction. They rebel against their own strict rules and spend a massive amount of money in one chaotic weekend, doing far more damage than if they had just bought a coffee every day.
So absolute restriction creates the very disaster we are trying to avoid. How do we find the middle ground?
We implement strategic joy. This involves a financial concept known as discretionary spending. This is your personal protected fund zone.
The fun zone. I love the sound of that.
Right. It is the money explicitly set aside after your basic needs, your housing, food, and essential bills are fully paid.
It's comforting to know that the fun zone is a legitimate financial strategy. It means it's completely acceptable to splurge on something, provided it genuinely adds value to your life.
Exactly. Like buying a plane ticket for a memorable weekend trip with friends.
Or paying for an incredible meal to celebrate a major milestone. Those experiences convert into lasting memories, whereas the late-night impulse lamp simply gathers dust.
Yes, the goal is intentionality. But abstract concepts are hard to use when you are standing in a store. We need a practical, step-by-step framework to stop the party planner from taking over the boardroom on payday.
I agree completely. Let's walk through how to actually do this in the moment. When the impulse hits, how do we interrupt it?
The first defense is the 5-second pause. Before you click the checkout button online, or before you tap your card at a register, force yourself to freeze for 5 long seconds.
5 seconds feels like a long time when you're excited to buy something.
It does. But in that silence, ask yourself one calm question. What does this choice actually support in my life? You are doing this to manually interrupt the brain's automatic dopamine loop. Those 5 seconds give your logical accountant the time to step back into the boardroom.
Just 5 seconds to wake up the logical brain.
Yeah.
I really like that. And once the accountant is awake, what is the next step?
You weigh the pros and cons. You look at the immediate benefit versus the long-term consequence.
Give me an example of how that works.
Sure. The immediate benefit might be, this new video game console will make my weekend incredibly fun. But the long-term consequence might be, this purchase will make the last 2 weeks of the month terrifying because my bank account will be completely empty. You hold those two realities in your hands and balance them.
But doesn't constantly weighing the pros and cons just cause more anxiety? It feels like we're constantly looking at what we are losing.
It can feel that way, which is why the third step shifts the perspective. It is about understanding opportunity cost. Every time you say yes to buying something, you are silently saying no to something else in the future.
Oh, so it's a trade-off.
Exactly. If you spend your discretionary money on random clothes you don't really care about, you are silently canceling the future trip you actually wanted to take. You are trading your future freedom for a temporary 5-minute thrill today.
Let's test this framework with some everyday scenarios. I will bring up a common expense, and let's see how the accountant handles it. Ready?
Let's do it.
First scenario, the daily cafe coffee. I see financial gurus constantly yelling that we must cut out our daily coffee if we ever want to be secure. Is it really that bad?
It's not about the coffee itself, it's about the pattern. If that single cup of coffee is your one true moment of peace in the morning and it fits comfortably within your discretionary spending, enjoy it without a single drop of guilt.
That is a relief to hear.
But if you are buying 3 coffees a day, plus extra pastries, simply because you are bored at your desk, that is a mechanical habit. That pattern is silently draining the resources you could use for something much more meaningful.
That makes the choice much clearer. Scenario 2, upgrading to the newest smartphone when your current phone still works perfectly fine.
Apply the pause and ask, is this a tool upgrade or a mood upgrade?
Tool versus mood. Okay, how do we tell the difference?
Well, if your current phone has a broken battery or you genuinely need a faster processor for your career, it's a tool upgrade. It serves a functional purpose. But if you are just feeling stagnant in life and want the temporary excitement of unboxing a shiny new device, it is a mood upgrade. Mood upgrades fade in a week.
Tool upgrade versus mood upgrade. I will definitely remember that. Final scenario, spending a large amount of money on an online course or a certification.
That is a classic example of value-based spending. Look at the opportunity cost. The cost of not learning a new skill is often much higher than the price of the course. You are purchasing future earning potential. The accountant will almost always approve that expense.
I have to pause our scenarios here. We've been discussing trips, new phones, and educational courses. But I know that for some of our listeners resting right now, those concepts feel like a luxury from another planet.
Yes, that's a very important point to make.
Some of you might be living paycheck to paycheck. Your budget is incredibly tight, and the moment your salary arrives, it is entirely swallowed by rent, utilities, and basic groceries.
It is vital that we acknowledge that reality. When we talk about trying to make ends meet, the entire psychological debate changes. For listeners in that position, the goal isn't lifestyle optimization.
Right, you aren't choosing between a vacation and a savings account.
No, you are operating in survival mode.
If you are in that position tonight, please listen closely. Do not carry the guilt to the financial gurus. If you can only put aside a tiny fractional amount of money each month, even just a few coins, that small saving is profound progress.
It truly is. It's a victory.
And if you buy one small treat, a single inexpensive chocolate bar after a deeply exhausting week, do not let anyone tell you that you failed. That small joy is what keeps us human. Your goal right now is simply building a foundation of stability. You are doing a wonderful job.
Exactly. Give yourself immense grace. Financial peace is a long, slow marathon. It is not a sprint, and you do not have to run at anyone else's pace.
We have explored some heavy, complex psychological concepts tonight. To help your brain truly absorb them as you drift toward sleep, we are going to slow our pace even further. We are going to transition gently into our bedtime word tour.
This is my favorite part of the evening.
Mine too. I invite you to get completely comfortable. Close your eyes if you feel safe doing so. Let your hands rest softly. We will define the key phrases we use tonight, provide a clear sentence, and then we will leave a quiet moment. In that quiet space, I want you to whisper the phrase out loud to yourself twice.
Yeah.
Let the words wash over you. Let's begin.
Our first phrase is impulse purchase. An impulse purchase is when you buy something suddenly without any planning, simply because the emotional urge is overpowering in that exact moment.
For example, I only went to the store to buy milk, but that expensive jacket was an impulse purchase.
Now take a breath and whisper, impulse purchase.
Relax your shoulders. Say it again. Impulse purchase.
Beautiful. Let's move to our next phrase.
Our next phrase is delayed gratification. Delayed gratification means resisting the temptation for an immediate, smaller reward in order to receive a much better, larger reward later on.
For example, saving money for a comfortable house requires a lot of delayed gratification.
Listen to the quiet rhythm and repeat gently. Delayed gratification.
Breathe in slowly. Delayed gratification.
That's perfect.
The third phrase is justify an expense. To justify an expense means to invent a logical-sounding reason for buying something, usually after your emotions have already forced you to make the purchase.
For example, she tried to justify an expense by claiming the luxury watch was a necessary business investment.
Softly, repeat with me, justify an expense.
Take your time. Justify an expense.
You're doing great.
Next, we have financial cushion. A financial cushion is a specific amount of money you keep safely tucked away, acting like a soft safety pillow for when unexpected emergencies fall into your life.
For example, having a solid financial cushion helps you sleep peacefully at night without panic.
Breathe in slowly and repeat, financial cushion.
Let the word settle, financial cushion.
Good.
Our fifth phrase is discretionary spending. Discretionary spending is the money remaining for your personal fun zone. It is spent on non-essential, enjoyable things only after your survival bills are paid.
For example, he carefully used his discretionary spending to buy concert tickets for the weekend.
Nice and slow, whisper, discretionary spending.
Once more, softly. Discretionary spending.
Wonderful.
Moving on to live within your means. To live within your means is to ensure that your lifestyle and your daily spending comfortably match the actual income you receive without relying on credit cards or debt.
For example, she felt her anxiety disappear when she finally started to live within her means.
Let's say it together, quietly. Live within your means.
Feel the calm in those words. Live within your means.
Very good.
The next phrase is splurge on. To splurge on something means to intentionally spend more money than usual on a special item or a meaningful experience that genuinely brings you joy.
For example, for their 10th anniversary, they decided to splurge on a beautiful, unforgettable dinner.
Quietly now, repeat, splurge on.
Let it out gently. Splurge on.
Lovely.
Our eighth phrase is weigh the pros and cons. To weigh the pros and cons means to carefully balance the positive benefits against the negative consequences before making a final decision.
For example, before buying the used car, he took an entire week to weigh the pros and cons.
Take a slow, deep breath and say, weigh the pros and cons.
Just whisper it. Weigh the pros and cons.
Excellent.
Next is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the understanding that every time you say yes to spending on one thing, you are silently saying no to something else. It is the hidden value of what you lose.
For example, the opportunity cost of buying new shoes today was missing out on the road trip next month.
Repeat gently into the quiet opportunity cost.
Nice and relaxed. Opportunity cost.
Almost done.
And our final phrase for tonight is make ends meet. To make ends meet means to have just enough money to survive and cover your most basic living costs, often with very little or nothing left over.
For example, when I got my very first job, it was a daily struggle simply to make ends meet.
One last time, whisper it softly. Make ends meet.
Let it fade away. Make ends meet.
Wonderful.
You have done a beautiful job practicing tonight. Let those concepts settle deeply and gently into your resting mind.
As we bring this deep dive to a close, I want to remind you of our core mission. Managing your first salary is not a war where one side has to lose.
It really isn't. It is not about the logical accountant destroying the joyful party planner.
Exactly. True financial peace is about harmony. It is learning how to protect your future self from panic without completely abandoning your present self's need for joy. You deserve absolute security, and you deserve a life full of color.
And as you drift off to sleep tonight, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to ponder in the quiet. We diligently track our money to see where it goes. But imagine, just for a moment, that a complete stranger picked up your bank statement today.
What would they see?
Right? If they looked at every place your money went this past month, what would they assume your deepest core values are? Does your spending reflect the hopes, dreams, and people you truly deeply care about? Or does your bank statement simply show a record of how exhausted you were at 10 o'clock at night?
That is a truly profound question to carry into your dreams. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. I wish you a very good night, a rested, peaceful mind, and true financial peace. Remember that image of your phone in your hand on payday? Next time that money arrives, you get to choose exactly what happens in those first 5 minutes. Good night, learners.